Sorry, guys. Give me one more second. Oh my God, Patrick. I forgot our headsets. Admit all. We're in.
Morning, Jeannie.
Good morning. Sorry, I panicked because I was trying to set up. Anyways, don't even worry about it. Here we are. And I just need 2 more minutes. Hang on just a second. Can you guys hear me? Just let me know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Did I get a phone?
Whoops. Hang on.
Yeah.
Ooh, hang on.
Oh
my God. I don't even know how to stop this. Hang on.
Okay. Patrick, help me.
Bring in the hose.
Can you help me, Patrick?
Power nozzle.
Okay, let me see if I can talk now. I think it's fine. So sorry. This is my first class ever, or at least it appears so. Okay, let's see if that works now. So, let me switch on over. Let me spotlight. You know when you start to panic? When you start to panic and then your brain doesn't think and you can't do anything right? That's what I was just doing just now. So let me grab all my stuff. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna, let me see. It's showing it off, right? So I think I'm ready. Let's do this. So what we're doing today is we are going to be doing the Wallflower. Here we go. And Michelle was talking about this filming arm dropping, and it is apparently dropping. Hang on. We struggle. That's why we're trying to, Patrick told you we're kind of like a store in transition, and we're just trying, I'm like trying everything. I'm like, okay, that doesn't work. Let's try this. So I brought in, this is my third filming arm that I brought in for Michelle to work with. Woo. You're going to see nothing for just a second. Here we go. We're going to try this one. Alrighty. See what we deal with. All right. I'm hoping to have this, I know, look away, on a different system at some point. There we go. All right, I think that's going to work. I think we're recording. I think we're ready to go. We are going to start off with the wings. So we're going to start off with the wings because we need them to kind of dry before we do everything else. And here is the bumblebee, which is so cute, and the wings make it. And it was so easy to do. So you're going to need a 4x4 hoop. You can use a bigger hoop if you want. We're going to do both set of wings in this 4x4 hoop. I grabbed this like little scrap out of my scrap pile. I keep everything. And so I have this little piece of, this is wash away stabilizer. So make sure it's wash away stabilizer. And I'm just going to hoop up. It didn't say to double it, but I went ahead and doubled it. I usually double my wash away. I feel like a lot of the things it says you don't need to, but when I can, I will. And this piece was already, look how tiny it is. And let me grab that. You want arrow up. Don't forget, arrow always goes up. And I need to open up my hoop a little bit more. I'm going to push them in. Let me pull out those wrinkles. And there we go. So we are hooped and ready to go. That is our wash away. And let's go back over here. Sorry once again. Let me see if I can get this better angle for you. Let's let Miss Francine in. Everyone is kind of trickling in right now. So there we go. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and slide this on, and I just have a regular pre-wound bobbin in my machine. And I am going to grab my USB. I put all my designs on here, so I'll just use the USB today. I think in the video I showed you how to do the design database transfer, and that is what I've been doing. I have barely been using my USB. I'm all about design database transfer because I love it and it is so easy, but I do have my USB. So let's go ahead and pop this in. Let's make sure. That's my Wallflower USB. And we are going to go to embroidery and then the pocket. Let me change you guys over so I can see gallery. I can see if you're crying. I want to know if you're crying because I want to be able to help you. View. Here we go, gallery. Let's let Sandra in. And USB. I am doing Wallflower. Oh, look. Oh, for a minute, I was like, no, April. But there's my April. Thank goodness. And I'll show you what you need to have prepped for May as well. Did I add the supply list yet? So there's my set of wings. I'm going to go ahead and touch set. We want 2 sets of wings. It's important to put up your hoop size because from this, you can't tell how much room we have. So I'm going to go here to my settings button, my notebook paper. If you're on the Avenir Radiance, you have the little cog. And we are going to go in here and we're going to select 4x4. So select your hoop size. And make sure all your settings, I like to stitch at 1,050 stitches per minute. Because your machine can and it does a great job, I do turn it down when I'm doing something kind of challenging. But I'm going to go ahead and set it to this. I know some of you love to stitch really slowly. If you do, let's at least set it to 800. So go ahead and challenge yourself. Go to 800. Make sure you're at default for the other ones. Needle on top of your fabric, not down into your fabric because we don't need to pivot. And if you have this option, embroidery foot auto, make sure it's on. And then we're ready to go. So this is my first set of wings. I'm going to touch edit, move, and I'm going to scoot him up a little bit. You're going to be putting your wings. You could do 3 sets of wings or 3 wings in here if you wanted, but I'm just doing 2 because this is going to be my 6th bumblebee. And then, okay, the best way to add another one is to not hit add because then you have to go and look for it. Just hit this button here and that's your duplicate button. So just touch that, made a copy. I'm going to go move. I like to center. So that's your center button. And then I'm just going to scoot it down a little bit. Okay, we're ready. You guys ready? Everyone get that? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and say okay. My hoop is on. I'm going to touch embroidery. That says I'm ready to go. Let me grab my instructions to make sure I'm not leading you astray. Instructions. Whoop. Only bad thing about this stand is the base because the base is really big. All right. It says I got to be careful not to show you know what I need to do. I have May in my folder. I got to turn it up. I got to put something in front of it because I would totally be the type to accidentally show it to you. And I love May. May is so cute. All right, Bumblebee. Here we go. Here are instructions, and it says, load the embroidery file, stitch the dimensional wing placement line. As far as color, color doesn't make a difference, but it does say down here that it wants linen. So let's go ahead and put our linen in. I'm gonna grab my linen thread on my little table over here. Reach over and grab that. I forgot that we were Zoom today, and that's why I was in a frenzy this morning trying to hook up for, I was trying to hook everything up for, what's the word I'm looking for? To do multi-camera, which we're trying to switch to so you don't have all this action where we're moving our filming arm.
Excuse me,
Right.
Jeannie.
Yeah.
If I want to use the iridescent thread instead of a linen, would that, do you
Yep.
think that'd be okay?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then you're going to send me a picture and I'm going to be jealous. And be like, hers is so much cuter. Why didn't I think of iridescent thread?
I
So
sure
let's go
will.
ahead. Oh, the other thing we can do in here, which we should do, if your designs aren't overlapping, we can color group. So not all of the machines have that option, but this is the screen from which we stitch out our layout page. Some of you have a secondary edit page, like if you have a Destiny or a Dream Machine. So if you touch layout, then you can hit this button right here. So if you look here, there's turquoise and turquoise. Now we just have one turquoise. So it's going to go ahead and it's going to do the placement for both of the wings. And then we just only have to do one color change for both of them. The other thing, you know what we should do too, just because if you want to conserve your stuff, I don't have to have my wings that far apart. I cannot change this in my layout page. It's grouped. When you get to your layout page, it's grouped. I'm just going to hit return and I'm going to take this one and just nudge them up a little bit because overlapping is going to, not overlapping, but that's going to be fine if they're close together. And then if you want to use this stuff and make another set of wings, you'll have enough supplies for that. So now I'm going to touch embroidery again. Guess what? Your color group goes away. So if you're in this screen and you color group, and then you go back to your main edit screen, it undoes your color group. So I do have to go in there one more time and color group and just confirm your progress bar. If you have a progress bar, has just 3 steps to it. We are good. So, you know, I love this screen right here where you go forwards and backwards stitches just in case you need it. So I'm going to go ahead and touch that. Shows what's going to be stitching out. And then you have those options right here. And we should be ready to go. Let me go ahead and move my chair. Sorry, getting caught over here. And there we go. Placement line. Let's get your embellishments. What you should have in your kit came with something like this. Let me let Rochelle in. So you're going to have something that looks like this. It's already sandwiched. So it's sandwiched with tulle and then Mylar. Well, actually, I don't know if it's sandwiched. Let me open it up. I just had stuff in my stash that I was using. It's not sandwiched. So you're going to make a little sandwich. Open up your tulle, take your Mylar, put it in between, and then take your tulle and layer it on top. All right. You're going to make a tulle sandwich. And now if you use the top part of this, you'll have enough down on the bottom that you should probably be able to make another set of wings because I know some of you are doing double. And I'm just going to put it up there. I want to make sure my tull's covering everything. I would get a piece of tape just to hold it down, or you can use a stiletto, something. Just don't get your fingers in there. I know it's tempting, right? I've been so lucky, knock on wood, because sometimes I will reach in, and I'm trying not to do that because hopefully we learn with age. That's not a good idea. Only thing good about getting older, I think, is hopefully we're a little bit wiser. I'm just going to put it right up here outside of my embroidery field. Why am I doing that? I'm only doing one set. I'm just going to put it smack dab in the middle. Sorry, it's being stingy. Smack dab in the middle for me because I've already done 18 million of these, which equates to, I've already done 4. There we go. Don't struggle. Just put it right in the middle. And then let's make sure we have the right color. And I saw that it had something on the bobbin for the instructions. So if you look at the instructions right here, it says, change the bobbin thread to match the top thread. I never changed it. I left my just white one in for the entire thing because it's so close to the linen. But if you feel like you want a matching bobbin, go ahead and put your bobbin in, and you want the matching linen one. I just left mine with the white one. It was fine. Stitch the dimensional wing lace mesh, remove all the tape, and trim the tulle and mylar close to the stitch. So we're just going to start, but make sure you do have, well, if you're Michelle Kelly and you're going to make it look amazing and special, you can put different thread in there, but I'm just leaving in my linen. And I just have a white bobbin in. Today, another episode of Lazy Embroiderist with Jeannie Mulligan. If I don't have to change it, I don't change it. And I really don't think it made that much of a difference. I'll show you mine. I mean, can you tell that I didn't use linen? I don't think so. But if you want to change it and you want it to be a linen bobbin, you can do it. After this step, we're going to stitch the dimensional wing satin outline, but we're going to trim. So you're going to do this step, then we're going to trim away all of the tulle, all of the mylar, and then we'll do the satin stitch outline so it'll look gorgeous. If you're in a machine that doesn't color group, you probably have loaded it twice, and you might have to, I think it's worthwhile to just fast forward. And I can show you what I mean by that after this stitches, but you can go ahead and just hit in the step that we're in, go to the next step. You just have to confirm on your screen that you're there. So you're going to do step 1 placement, and then I would skip and go step 3 placement, and then go back and do step 2, and then do step 4. Hopefully that makes sense. Some of you are going to have a day with A1. You're going to do rope balls this afternoon. Miss Susan Johnson, you look like you're traveling. Hopefully you're going somewhere fun. We're keeping you company. Linda, I don't know what, oh, your mic is not working. So if your mic's not working, you want to ask a question, you can put it in your chat window. Put up the chat, see if somebody's asked anything. Yeah, I'm not sure. If your mic's not working, I'm really not sure how to fix that. I'm like, I struggle here. If mine not, did you hear me screaming for Patrick? Patrick! So that's my solution. If you look in the bottom left, there's a mute and unmute. Maybe it's that. I go through all 3 layers because it says, and you know, sometimes you can rip it away. Nope, don't rip it. It's not ripping. Okay, tool is like something that's one of those things I'm going to miss from Joann's because that's what I would buy from them. Because I try to go buy it from my, you know, I buy wholesale and sell retail, and I try to buy from some of my distributors. 50, I have to buy 50 yards. What am I going to do with 50 yards? Should I get it? Because maybe people will need to go buy tool and they can't buy it from Joann's. I better just get it, huh? There's Miss Betty. I'm going to back us up just a little so I have room for my hands. If I don't have to slide it off of my machine, I don't. Have I told you these are my favorite snips from Kimberbell? I love these. I'm resistant to change and I loved my Havels. And so I was just using those. And then when we got these, I was like, well, I have to use them. I have to try them. And I feel like they're a little bit stronger. And my Havels were a little bit stronger than my titanium ones. So these will be the ones I try to sell you for a while because I feel like they're the best. And then we'll see what something else comes out. But I love snips. Snips are nice because you can just pinch. So they're easy on the hands. Oh, look, I don't even have to pinch. I can just drag. Did not know I could do that. Or we'll do this side and do the same thing.
Hey, Jeannie.
Yeah.
Did you ever get the snips from the set that they had? Did you ever use
Which
those?
set are we talking about?
Kimberbell had the set that had the snips, the duckbill. It's like a little kit.
I wasn't crazy about those. Did you love them?
Yeah, I like their snips. That's what I was wondering if those were any better than the ones that come
You know
out
what?
full set.
I have one of those sets here at the store, so I'll have to look at it. And if these are bigger, I'm guessing they're going to be better.
Okay.
But I'm not positive, but I'll take a peek at that and send me a reminder email. Yeah, because I always want whatever's going to be best. I've missed a layer of tulle. So
Okay.
I think if I recall, I think they're a little bit smaller, but I could be wrong.
Okay, thank you.
I think that set there's tools that I always use. Like I really like a pair of snips, a pair of double curved, and I have to have a pair of curved straight. And I think that set was missing something from it. And that's why I didn't get it because I like those but some people love that set, so don't let me influence you. I just know that I need to have something that has a double curve for over this, curve for away from your fabric, and then the curve straight anytime that says cut as desired. All right, once you trim that, just go ahead and hit start, and it's going to do the satin. Oops, I am unthreaded. That just did two stitches, so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to grab a little pad so I can write down questions. Okay, if you said anything, I wasn't here. but I'm back. I just went to grab a pad of paper because I saw Stephanie show up and I'm like, oh my God, Stephanie, I owe you a call. And then you had asked about the Tootie, and I did have to order some colors and I just got everything in. So I haven't forgotten you, even though you might have thought I had. And
Jeannie,
then the other thing I'm going to do is I'll check on those snips, KB snips from the set. If you're done and you're ahead of me, you can go ahead and you're going to trim really close around these. And then I'm getting a little bit of a glare. I'm going to go into my settings. This is the only time you would really want to turn down your camera for, in my opinion, is if you're filming. Light. Let's go to a 3. There. You should be able to see better now.
Jeannie, can you
Linda,
hear me?
Linda S., you look like you have an amazing sewing room, and I'm super curious to know what that thing is hanging on your wall with all those pretty colors. I can't tell if that's is that a quilt with houses? Isn't my guess? What quilt is that? So cute. I just love the colors.
Were you asking me?
Yeah, I
What-
was asking you about that quilt that you have on your wall that's so beautiful.
It's Lori Holt House's hometown from a few years ago. I can tell you what it is. Let me look at my label. Prim Village,
Craft Village.
Prim, Prim.
Oh yeah, do you guys see it in the background? It looks perfect.
It's when you walk in my front door, you see it.
Oh, I love it. It's really cute. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. You want to see what I'm working on now?
Yeah.
Let me go get the rest of it.
While we're stitching out, we might as well be nosy and look around your room.
Can you see this?
I'm gonna spotlight you. That looks like, are those 1 inch or are they two? What size are those?
1.5 inch cut, 1 inch finished. It's on 10 Sisters grid.
Holy cow. So,
And
is that one of those quilts that are easier than it looks or as hard as it looks? Like, do you do that in strips and then cut it apart?
you do panels. I
Yeah.
just finished one panel. Right here's
That's
one that
amazing.
you need 5 in a row.
Wow.
And I'm getting ready to start the other panel right now.
How long have you been working on that?
I started it last weekend at a quilt retreat.
Did you say you started it last week?
Last Saturday at a quilt retreat where you sew from 8 in the morning till 11 at night.
Wait, you started the whole quilt last week?
I started sewing it together. It took me 2 days to put it on the grid at home
Okay, that's
because I had to lay everything out and match up where the next block comes in.
yeah.
So everything matches up.
Oh, got it. Got it. Oh,
To
so
make
it's a panel. You didn't sew every single little square together.
No, you sew that right on the grid. See this grid right here?
Got it.
And then you go across and you fold it over. There's a little dotted line
Yep.
and you fold it on that dotted line. And then you sew your 1/4 inch right here.
Okay, I've seen that technique. Well, I've never like seen it in action. Maybe
Yeah.
Lynn teach us.
And so then you just keep doing that till you get through the whole panel here. And then you have to do little clips where your seams are
Yeah.
so that you can get the your seams going in opposite directions so they butt up against each other.
That's fantastic. What is that? Is it just is that gridded? Like do you put it on is it pre-gridded like usable that you put it on?
Yes, it's pre-gridded. Yeah, all the
What,
squares
what's
are
it
marked
cost?
off. There's little squares that have dots on it where you put your little 1.5 inch squares. They don't have to fit in perfectly because they'll be in the seam.
That is super cool. I wonder if they make that for charm if they do that for charm quote size. So like the 2.5 inch.
Yeah, they do have a 2.5, they do have a 2 inch grid, 2.5 inch grid, I think it is for 2.5 for 2 inch fit. And they have 1 inch grid too.
Wow. Then we can just buy a charm pack and just lay it all down and sew it all together. But that was real. I thought that I've seen that grid paper, but I've never seen it in action. So
Yeah,
thanks
let
for
me know. I got one grid I have used.
Jeannie,
yeah.
I am lost. Are
Good
we
God.
on the on my screen where it says natural white 3?
So I color grouped. So if you're not color grouping, then what you would be doing is step 1 is going to be the placement line. So you would have just stitched the placement line step, and then after that, you put down your tulle and mylar together.
Okay, I did
Step-
that.
Okay, step 2, you were stitching the top decorative stitch. And then you needed to, once it was done with step 2, you needed to trim the tulle and the mylar off.
Okay, that's where I am right now.
Okay, and then just hit go again. If you have everything trimmed, you can hit step 3, and that did the satin outline.
Okay.
So that's just the satin outline. So I don't think you're far behind. I think you got
Okay.
it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. And if you guys have questions, I always want you to stop me. I'd rather have you stop me right when you have the question than when we're 5 steps ahead. And that way I can catch it and we can all get caught up. So you're going to go ahead. Once you're done with that, guess what? Your wings are done. We're going to rinse. So if you're still stitching, go ahead and stitch. Not a big deal, but I am going to go ahead and pull this out. And you're going to want to trim away as much of that. I mean, and you had room. You could fit like more on here. Or I wonder if we could have turned it the other way. Maybe you could have maybe done one here, one here, one here, one here. So there's lots of different options for loading up your hoop. So go ahead and pop it out. And then you're going to trim around it. Be careful not to trim your stitches, but I would get nice and close because this stuff is like Elmer's glue. So to this day, our sink at the store, if you've ever been here and you're like, wow, that sink doesn't drain well, that's because I did a whole bunch of freestanding lace classes. And I'd be like, all right, come on, ladies, come on, gents, let's go in the bathroom. We'd all rinse everything right in the sink. And then one day Debbie West was like, you don't want to do that because that will clog up your sink. And I was like, I didn't know that. So I try to warn you guys.
Jeannie,
Yeah.
this is Anna. I think I screwed up. My
Okay.
thread kept breaking. Looked back again. The mylar is supposed to go over the tulle, right?
No, the mylar goes in between the tulle. There's a big piece of tulle, and then you open it up, put the mylar in between next to the fold, and then fold it over. So you're going to have a tulle sandwich. I mean, a mylar sandwich with 2 pieces of tulle bread.
Okay. I guess I did do it right then. I thought maybe the tulle was breaking the thread, so I switched my thread over. I'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, you did it right. If your thread is breaking, first thing I do is I always follow my thread path and I look to see if it's getting caught somewhere. I'm not.
I did the
Go ahead.
I'm doing the rethreading everything. So
Okay.
we'll see.
Yeah,
All right.
and
I thought
you can always
You
go up
scratch-
inside it in thread. Okay, thread breakage. There's lots of things that can cause your thread to break. I always try to do the process of elimination first and just make sure that it's not getting caught anywhere. And then other things that can cause your thread to break, your thread path. Like if you have number 6, there's a little bar there. Sometimes people change their needle and it goes below, and that can rub against your thread and break it. Your needle. just changing out your needle sometimes, your thread and your needle go through all this like sharp stuff. It's passing through all of this hard stuff. And if it gets just, I can't remember if you said your thread was breaking or your needle was breaking, but if it's your thread, if it gets even like a little nick in it, then it'll cause it to like curl and do stuff like that. Your needle plate, if there is a burr in the front of the hole of your needle plate, that can cause your thread to break. If your foot height is too high, but we already set that in our settings, but that can cause your thread to break too. I have found that because sometimes I'm like, sometimes I'm like, I'm not going to change my bobbin. That's a white bobbin. But if I have a cotton bobbin in my, if I'm using a cotton bobbin, sometimes that will cause your upper thread to break. So there's lots of different things. A nick, if you have a nick on your, in your bobbin case, because you don't realize, but your upper thread, when the take-up lever goes down, it sends a loop of thread in your bobbin area. And if there is something rough on your bobbin case, when it throws it down there and it comes back up, that can cause your thread to break too. So I always take out my bobbin case. If you've had a needle strike and you've had a needle strike recently, that can cause your thread to break because there's something rough down in your bobbin case. Okay, I'm going to take this to the bathroom. I know. I'm going to I have a bowl though in there. So I'm going to rinse it in the bowl and then we're going to get threaded up. I don't want you to rinse it and just let it go down your sink in a bowl, throw it outside. So I will be right back. You don't need to go with me for this. I always use warm water. I know it says to use cold water, but I always use warm or hot. I think it works better. Where's my green bowl? And then later on, I'll just take that bowl outside and I'll just throw it out there. I have it in a paper towel. And I'm going to squeeze out as much water as I can, and that'll be good enough for us to stitch it. I didn't wait on any of these. If I'm in a pinch and I'm doing freestanding lace, I like, in the wintertime, I have like a heating vent that I'll put it in, and I have a room that's really warm. I have a fireplace in my sewing room. Summertime, I'll take everything and I'll put it out in the sun to let it dry. And you might feel it's a little bit gunky. That is okay. That is just some residual of the dissolve away. But can you imagine like tons of that just going down your sink? So that'll make it, if you leave a little bit, it'll make it pliable that you can like kind of shape it a little. And what I want you to do is if you see any of those threads, clip them now. Clip them now. So you can see I have some like maybe from the back side. You want to just go ahead and clip everything and make it look gorgeous. That's what we say, make it gorge. And I will give it like a little haircut going around the wings. Like, see, I don't know if you see those sticking up, but cut those off because they just end up sticking out. All right, we're ready to hoop up. Or I'm ready to hoop up. I'm ready to hoop up. So just keep stitching. If you need to keep stitching, just keep stitching. And we're going to do the bumblebees now. Why don't I do it one at a time? And that way, if you don't have that color grouping, then you'll be right with me and you won't get confused. So hang on. So for my hoop, I brought my 7x12 magnetic. I'm going to grab that. and it still has my embroidery in it from yesterday. Here we go. So yesterday we did the sew along for Hello Sunshine, which was totally fun. And I don't know why I didn't stitch out. Something happened. I was doing something. Did I stay at the store late? I think I stayed at the store a little bit late. So I didn't get home until late. So I got home, just had dinner, and I didn't do any other stitching. But this is from Hello Sunshine. So I'm going to go ahead and let me take off all those magnets. And let me put you over here in case you have any questions. I forgot my headset today, which I hate because you have even sound always. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I will usually leave one embroidery on so I can snug everything up nice and tight. But like you save all of this. Like all of this gets saved and whatever was on the top. So that's why I leave it like this. So I use muslin. I'm going to be using muslin for this. Anytime I use a quilt and people ask me, why do you use muslin? And I use it because it's softer, it's more pliable. I think it's more cost effective right now, but who knows after tariffs kick in. Get everything now. Stock up. Hoard. Patrick and I yesterday, I was like, Patrick, what do we need to get? Let's buy everything right now. Starting to get a little worried. I haven't really been thinking about it. But starting to think about it now because I was like, how's that going to affect our business? So I'm going to go ahead and move this up. Are you guys seeing this? You're seeing this, right? Where am I? Am I on the right page? Okay, there we go. All right. I'm going to roll this out a little bit. And so you have on your hoops. So I had somebody call the other day because they had snap hoops and they weren't sure what sizes they had bought. And so a good way to figure out is measure in 1/2 inch. So measure from here to here and then take off 1 inch. So I'm not positive, but this will probably be about 8 inches. And then if we take off 1/2 inch, it'll be 7 inches. This is a 7 by 12. I'm not sure on this one, but it's usually about, I don't think this is gonna, I'm not sure on this one, but this one is our 7 by 12. You know what? Just label it. But on the other hoops, it's about 2.5 inches from top to bottom that you're gonna take off. So it's like 1.25 inches of no sew. So I like to put these on with a little bit of fabric peeking out because you can, here we go. See how I have a little bit of the black peeking out? To me, that's like the perfect amount because I know I'm not going to be too close and I'm not too far. I like to pull this back with my hand the tiniest bit just to make it taut. And then I'm going to reclip these. It's going good. How are you? And then I like to take this and kind of drag it across. I remembered it. It's by Max. That's the one thing I remembered. Patrick and I'm trying to bring our lunch because he and I waste a lot of money buying food. And so he just asked me if I remembered lunch and I said yes. And he said he was hoping I had forgotten, but I remembered. Okay, here we go. All right, we're hooped up. Fluff your fabric, meaning if you have an embroidery on there, flip them up. I have accidentally slid on my hoop like this and stitched the front to the back. And then I'm like, where's that embroidery? Oh my goodness. I've done it in videos that you guys have watched. And then I try and hide it. I'm like, oh my God, I can't show them. But there's no hiding that. All right, I'm going to go home. Oh, sorry. Now, let's go to our settings because you're going to choose your hoop size. Just a good habit. You don't have to, but it just gives you an idea of how much room, like what your work field looks like, your workspace. And I'm going to select 7 by 12. You can use whatever hoop you want. This design what determines it really is your embroidery your quilting design. That's what's going to determine it, because when you add the quilting, it bumps you up 1/2 inch. So even though it's a 4x4 design, it bumps us into a 4.5 by 4.5 size. So we have to go up to a 5x7. So you can do this in your 5x7. I'm going to do it in my 7x12, and I'm going to put them both in at the same time, but we'll stitch them out separately. I'm going to put them to the left and to the top. I did them like this. And I moved them over to the side. So I did 2 at a time. I'm going to load 2 at a time, but we're going to go ahead and just stitch 1 at a time. So on our screen, go ahead and say, okay. Where's my spreadsheet? April. Part B. So we did part A. Part B, you're going to load spring 7 4x4. So actually, I'm going to hit my home screen to get rid of the wings. That clears everything from your screen, but my 7x12 design is still there, and we want to go to the USB, and we're looking for spring 7. So mystery wallflower and April. I already have mine, so I put that all in my April folder. You might have to look for yours, but there's my spring 7. I'm going to go ahead and load that, and let's hit set. And then we're going to go ahead and add. Don't move that yet. And we're going to add the bumblebee. Mystery wallflower, April, there's my bee. And we have to make sure, because remember hopping down the bunny trail, how everything had to be, nothing was centered. Let's see if we're centered. Centered. So it's easy here. You don't have to do anything else. We're just going to go ahead and hit set. And I'm going to go ahead and move this up to the top corner. So we're going to, but right now, if I move it, it's going to move separately. So you have to group it. Or you know what we can do too is we can go ahead and do this in the other screen. If you have this button right here, that is your grouping button. So I'm going to show you what to do if you don't have a grouping button. If you do have a grouping button, you're going to touch this button and you're going to hit the pink, and it's going to change everything to pink. And then we can go ahead and move it. Oop, guess I have to move it. Hang on. Undo. Group, pink. Yeah, I don't know why it was separating just then. I'm going to move him all the way up.
Jeannie,
Yes.
this is Cindy, and I decided to make the legs black
Yeah.
instead of the other color.
Yeah.
I put a black bobbin behind it, and I think it comes out a little bit better than.
Oh, you like it better with the black?
Oh, yeah. Can you see?
Hang on. You're all the way across my room. Let me see if I can find your page. Okay, you guys are going to get a look at what it looks like in black if you want to do it in black instead. What page? Oh, wait, there you are. Hang on. There's Miss Cindy. I'm going to spotlight you.
I did use the other color around the head and the body, but
Makes it stand out. Yeah, we can do black. You guys can choose whatever color you want. I've done like 4 of them with the shadows, so maybe I'll throw black in too. So, yeah, you guys
But I
can
used a black bobbin too.
Oh, and with the black bobbin. Yeah, because you never know if you're going to get a little, if it's going to peek through it all. So here is so I went ahead and did that. Now we can go ahead and hit OK. Let me see if I can duplicate that. So there it is. That's your duplicate button. So you can go ahead and hit that. It made a second one. Don't move it with your finger, because if you do, it might move the one underneath it. Go to your move keys. And there's our 2. Okay, not going to let you color group, and I'm going to snug my stuff over to the left. Okay, what happens? I'm going to save this. So let me go ahead and hit OK, and I'm going to put this in memory right now because I don't want to recreate this, and I'm going to put it on my machine. What if you don't have a grouping button? Because some of you don't have that. What you're going to do is I'm going to go home just to recreate this. You're going to go embroidery. We're going to pick your design. So Wallflower, April, and we're going to do spring 7. And then you can add the bumblebee. He's just going to be centered. And then you can go ahead and touch embroidery, and now he's grouped. So it automatically groups in the screen from which you stitch out. And you can go ahead and put him up there. And then I would stitch it, and then you could stitch the next one. You can hit return here. It won't let you, you would have to load it again and then move it over. So I would just do one at a time, put one up here, and then do the second one, okay? But I already have that in memory, so I'm gonna put both of those back. Embroidery, but I'll stitch one at a time. There it is. So I'm gonna bring that up, set it. He's ready to go. I'm gonna touch embroidery. And I'm going to touch this button here. That's where you go forwards and backwards stitches, because we are going to skip some steps. This will not let you color group. And the reason for that is they will not let you color group if it will ruin the integrity of the design, like stitching out the black of an eyeball before the white of the eyeball. And it will not let you do it if your designs are touch on top of each other. So this is the bumblebee on top of quilting design, will not let you color group. I'm going to go ahead and stitch that one right now. First thing it wants to do is it wants you to do the placement line for the batting. And let's look at our handy dandy chart to see what the color is. So right here, it is recommending, we're doing it on that background that kind of looks like a honeycomb. So it wants you to do linen. So my linen is already in there. I'm just going to leave, I'm not going to leave it because I like to have a color that's darker that we can fussy cut to. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in shadow. Shadow. Here we go. I'm going to put this in. I do not pull my thread back, and I like to show this off every once in a while. So don't pull this back, but unthread it. Make sure your foot is up, that's not closed. You're going to unthread it from here to here. I'm not pulling back. And right when it comes to here, it's just going to fall right out. Easy peasy, okay? There we go. I'm going to take that out. We're going to put that back in when we do our quilting. Here's my shadow. I'll grab some black too, because we can always make those legs black. Maybe they make it pop. And placement line. I'm going to get my spray tan. I think it's 2 pieces. Whoops. Sorry, throwing thread. Each bumblebee has 2 pieces of the black, and then 1 piece of the yellow striped, and then the background fabric, and a piece of batting. I'm only going to spray 1 set at a time, but you should have something that looks like this. So you're going to have the background, 2 pieces of the black, and then 1. What's this? Oh, look at this. This is, I think I got this ready to put down with the scan and cut. I think I was like, oh, let's do scan and cut. Let me see if I have a piece that isn't stabilized. They all are. So I'm just going to peel that off. I'm not going to, obviously I didn't cut it. So spray tent. Here's my spray tent. This is what I use, the dime spray tent. And I always put a piece of cardboard in there so I can change it out. Although I like it nice and fuzzy and sticky. And you want to put it down on the wrong side of this, which is the nubbier side. That's the side you're going to spray, so it goes down. And then let's do these 2. And we'll do that yellow. Mine has heat and bond light on it, which is for the scan and cut. But oh, look, there's a piece of dark thread. Okay. Whoop. And everything is sprayed and ready to go. I love this tent because it just keeps all your aerosol like contained. And this is the spray that I use. KK100 economy line. I've never bought the premium because the premium is expensive. It's like $30. And economy's always worked for me. So I can't imagine, it's like wonderful. So I can't imagine something more wonderful. All right, let's go ahead and put down our batting first. Just fill that square. And then you're going to take your background fabric and center it to that batting. And then you want to be on that screen where we can go forward and backward stitches. Just feel around. You should have about an inch all the way around. I'm a little bit further over here, but that's okay. You have plenty of room because that's the line. The tack down line is the line that that you're going to fussy cut to. This back here so I can see you guys. View gallery. All right, let's skip some steps. So that's why you need to be in this screen. So, and if you don't know what screen I'm talking about, it's this screen right here where you go backwards and forwards, stitches and whole thread colors. Turquoise is on, in Kimberbell, turquoise is going to be the placement stitch. And is that too dark? I mean, too bright? Let me go screen. We always turn ours up to 6. I like it bright, but for this, maybe we'll go down to 4. That's the default. 4 is your default. So turquoise is placement, orange is tack down, green is the quilt stitching. So they're not necessarily asking you to put those colors in right now. They're just telling you what steps we're on. So this is our tack down for the batting. We don't need that because we cut it to size. If you didn't cut it to size, you're going to do that in trim. This is placement for your background fabric, and then that's going to be the tack down for your background. That is what we do want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And now it wants to do the quilting stitch, and it is calling for linen. So let me go ahead and switch that out. If you want to be bold and beautiful, you could do something else. Maybe Michelle Kelly has an idea for something that's going to look amazing. And Michelle, I do want to see those iridescent wings.
Still working on the wings, Jeannie.
Are you really? Did you have to slow it down?
I have to slow it down.
What thread are you using?
Sulky metallic, but
Okay.
I am trying, it's called the Thread Director for metallic threads.
Yep. So I just put in my linen and it's doing the quilting stitch right now. Just confirm that's what you see on your screen. You should see it right up here. There are some amazing metallics. I have some beautiful ones that are from Yemet that I got when I did like tiling scenes. And they make the tiling scenes. However, I had to baby the heck out of that thread. I don't know if anyone's done those. And I had to hold it. I had to baby it. I had to nurse it through. I mean, it's worth it in the end because it looks so good. But some metallics are high maintenance. So hopefully your thread conductor is working for you. Ganode makes amazing threads. Like they have these, I don't even know what they're called, but I've used those before. I'm going to have to bring them in. You guys always get me thinking about how I can make my stuff look better. I'm always in such a rush to just get it done that I just use whatever they tell me to use. But there are other things that you can use that will make your project go from cute to wow. That's super cute. After you're done with the quilting, and is there anyone else that needs help that I can get you caught up? Wanda, look at that wall. I don't know if you guys can see Wanda's wall of thread. She just like walk over there and just like stare at it and go, oh my God, I have the most amazing thread in the world. Look at my thread. That looks good, Wanda. Try to see if I can get this any closer. That looks fun, Wanda. Wanda, if I recall correctly, you also had the amazing wall of hoops, didn't you? No? Yes. We were just staring at your wall. Wall of thread. Let me see if I can get a different angle on this. Hang on. That works better. No, nope. Sorry. Hang on. Let me get it back. All right. That's the best I can do. Maybe this? No. All right, next step. It wants to do the legs. I have done, it is calling for, if you look at your instructions, it does call for shadow. So anytime you see that line, that black with the line through it, that's calling for shadow. I've done all of mine in the shadow. I'll try black because I have 4. What am I going to do with all of these? So you can either put in your shadow or put in your black. And it wants to stitch out those little legs. Let me go ahead and put in my black. Or your shadow. And go ahead and stitch. Head on. Maybe that's better. Hey, Patrick.
What you doing? Been all of them around. I was at a stopping place waiting for them to get ready to trim. I thought I'd call and see what you were doing. This is embroidery club today. It's a Zoom class. Ooh. I'm ahead of them, so I have to wait for them to.
I got it. So tight. That which is no, it had nothing to do with that. Okay, and now it's going to do with the little antenna. And then we're going to stitch the abdomen placement line. You want to have one of those little block pieces of fabric ready to go. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can get something a little bit closer to you guys. Always trying something new. All right. Hang on. Here we go. Filming option number 2. Do you see my big old filming arm right there that I've been struggling with? There we go. Get this one out of the way. How about this? All right, next step. We're going to do the abdomen. We're just going to leave that same color in. So I'm going to put this in, hit start. Okay, let's see. Let's see. You're going to see some movement. I'm going to get this in closer, but lower. So we use a filming arm, and I literally have purchased maybe 5 of them, and it seems like they're all starting to fail. Okay, I'm going to grab that piece of fabric. So I'm just working on getting something a little bit better right now. I'm going to go ahead and put that down. You're going to do the tack down stitch. So tack down stitch is step number 3, and then we're going to trim. So get your little trimming tools out. There's Miss Linda.
So Ginny, there's no puff underneath any of the bee?
I do not remember there being any puff, and I don't see that anywhere in the instructions.
Okay. For some reason I remember it being there and I'm
Yeah, there's for the part B, you're gonna see background body stripes. And there's no, it doesn't call for any flex foam. So
Cool.
did I mess that up? Let me look at my samples too, because I have stitched this a million times. And yes, no puff. Nope, although you could put puff, right? It would make it really cute. So now what it wants is it wants you to do the decorative stitching. Well, go ahead and trim first. Let's trim. I appreciate the question though, because sometimes I forget stuff. A lot of times. Here we go. And you want to get it nice and tight. What I really loved about the Scan and Cut is when I put it down and I did the stitching, it was so spot on. I wonder if I have one versus the other. It was so spot on. Go ahead and hit start again. And I am going to put the shadow in there for this. I did like that contrast. So if you want to do black for the wings, for the legs and the antenna, you can do that. But I would put the shadow in because it's just like it was a little bit more contrast next to the black fabric. And you can use shadow for the whole thing is what the instructions call for. Okay, now it wants to, let me look at my instructions. This is, we just did the decorative outline. This is stitch the stripes placement line, and it wants you to put buttercup in. So get your buttercup thread or whatever yellow thread you're using or whatever color you want to use to make this amazing. If your little tail leaves its loop and then it doesn't pull all the way through, pull it through, or else it kind of stitches a little bit messy. And your fabric is directional. So I would put it so the stripes go up and down. You know, stripes this way make us look a little wider. So we'll put our stripes up and down. I'm going to go ahead and lay that down. We are on step number, this is step number 6. Stitch the stripes tack down line, and then you're going to trim close to the stitch line. So do your tack down, and then we're going to trim. Why is this not? All right, we're going to go ahead and trim that. Hang on. As soon as I go one more option. Filming option number 3. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim this. Let's move it back just the tiniest bit. If you're ever trimming and you're like, ooh, that feels thick, don't squeeze. That means you probably got something caught like in between. Like maybe you're cutting something like an extra layer. You want to be nice and close for this. Cut in between. Miss Ann, are you still breaking thread?
No, I'm good to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just slow.
Well, don't worry. We're going to be doing 2 of these. So don't worry about it.
I tend to be a little cautious, so I watch first.
Yeah, I totally get it. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and let's do the decorative stitching around the yellow part. This is step number 7, stitch the stripes decorative outline. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put the shadow back in, and we're going to stitch the head and thorax. Probably haven't said that word in a while. Thorax placement line. And you're going to use the other black piece of fabric.
All right, I missed something about the direction of the fabric, the yellow fabric.
Oh, so you have your stripes I
Yeah.
would put it so your stripes are going, yeah, make sure your stripes are going up and down and not left to right.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No worries.
Oh, this is the first time I've stitched with you, and it's nerve-wracking.
Oh my God, don't be. And we're going to do 2 of these. So take your time. And when you get to a step, if I am ahead of you, I find that when I do these sew-alongs, a third of you are ahead of me. A third of you are going to be right with me, and a third of you are going to be behind me. So we're going to do 2 of these. When you get to a step, if you have a question, just unmute and ask it, and we'll get you caught up. I can
Cool.
multitask pretty well and keep everyone all together. All right.
Thanks.
And then we are on, you know what I love? So remember a bunch of you did or watched Hello Sunshine, and the equivalent of like the directions that we have here was like in 3 lines for Hello Sunshine. It was really like stitch the placement line and nothing else other than that. It'll show the color, stitch the placement line, your instruction. Kimberbell's so great because they have really grown, and I think they've created something. So if you are more verbal, they're going to have your instruction written. If you're more visual, you're going to have your instruction that's also going to be pictured too. So what we just finished was we finished step number 7. Stitch the decorative outline. You're also going to have a picture here too. So they'll have 2 instructions for you. I'm on step number 8, wants me to stitch the placement line. It does want you to do that in shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my shadow. And his black legs look really great. Shadow, where did I lose you? I found you. Oh my goodness. I'm really sorry about having to switch the filming like so many different times today. It is an ongoing struggle. Okay, placement line. And my piece has already been sprayed. I sprayed it. It was the last little black piece that I'm going to be using. That is going to be for the head and the thorax. Mine's not even sticky. Hang on. Give it a little shot of spray again. A little spritz. Don't go crazy. Just like or don't you you don't want it crazy. And then go ahead and do your tack down line. So that was step number 8. We just did our placement. We just put our fabric down. I'm not a taper, I'm a sprayer. And now we're going to do the tack down, and then we're going to trim it close to the stitch line. Trim it. Make it look gorge. That's what we say in the store. We're always like, make it look gorge, ladies. I can say that to the boys and they don't care. They're like, oh yeah, whatever, Jeannie. I am so excited about Star Spangled Beauty. I'm so excited about everything. It's just like not enough hours in the day. I really want to do another. So Michelle's going to be doing picture play is like her first Avenir Club. And I think I'm going to do, this. I think I'm going to do a special Avenir custom quilting, like with everything that's in the machine. All right. It wants you to do the decorative stitching outline. If you look That's what keeps me up at night. That's why I don't sleep, because I'm thinking about all these amazing classes. We're going to stitch the head and thorax decorative outline. That is step number 10 in your instructions. Go ahead and hit start. You should have shadow in for this. Anyone else need help? Just unmute. We'll get you there. And we're going to do this all over again. So once we're done with this one, you get another shot. So take your time. It's okay. And ask your questions. So let's look at the difference. So this is the one with the black legs. And this is the one with the shadow. I'll have to hold it up to you afterwards. And then you guys can decide. It does look great with those black legs. They're nice and bold. That was step number 10. Step number 11, stitch the dimensional wing placement line. It wants you to do this in shadow. So you're just going to hit start again. It's going to do the placement line for your wings. And then we're going to lay down the first set of wings. And I know it's hard to see, but they're under there. I'll pull it back a little bit so we can put this down. All right. You're going to orient the dimensional wings from part A so that the large forewings are on top, meaning make sure you put it down like this and not like this. Now you have a right and a wrong side of your wings. And there's one side that just looks a little bit prettier. I feel like where it's more round on the top, you're going to find, I think, on the back that the stitching's a little flatter. I don't know if you can tell, but that is the wrong side. And this is the right side. So you want to pick out your wings and make sure you have the right side. If you have any ick, like see in the very middle of that, it's not quite pretty. I'm going to trim that in a little haircut. See that thread? I don't like that. There we go. That looks good to me. Make sure the side that has like the rounder stitching is on the top. There. That one's rounder. It's kind of hard to tell because it looks so amazing on both sides. I'm going to pull this back a little bit. And you're going to see the wing placement is right here. I don't know if you can see it. Looks like a little H. I know it's hard to see because it's tone on tone, but it's in the middle of the thorax. This is the head. This is the thorax. We're going to put this right down and we're going to center the little bump, like the little part right here, right on top of the H, just like that. And get your tape. And we're going to put piece of tape on either side. I use just a regular, my 7511 needle I found worked perfectly for this. I didn't have any issues. But if you want to go up in size, or if this is a time where you could slow your speed down and not go pedal to the metal, make sure your tape is on the outside of the wings and that you're centered well. Ooh, I'm a little bit higher up on my right-hand side. Do you see that? There we go. There we go. Take one last peek at it. If it looks good to you, we're going to slide this back on and then we're going to stitch it down. I did mine full speed and it was great. I was like, oh, no problem. But remember, I'm a reactive stitcher. I'm not proactive. So I didn't change out to a bit. I was like, let's just try it, see if it works. Oh, did you hear that? I could hear that in the very end. My thread got a fray in it. Let's take a look at it. And if it looks okay, I'm just going to go with it. I got like a chunky fray. I'm just going to trim it. That's okay. Because look, he looks great. Looks great anyways. Doesn't he? Okay, let's look at our two bumblebees. And get ready because we're going to do it one more time. Here is bumblebee, black legs. Here is bumblebee, shadow legs. Wait, is that shadow? Yeah, it's really hard to tell apart. So there we go. but that's what you're going to get. All righty. Let's do it one more time. So I did load both of mine at the same time. If you, let's say you weren't able to load them both at the same time, let me show you what you can do. What I would do is I would go ahead and if you weren't able to duplicate it, you can go head on for you so you have a better view. We could go back here. I can't, this is combined. I cannot just throw one away from this screen right here, but I can do it from my other screen. So I'm going to hit return to go to the previous screen. And this is what I would do if you were unable to load two at a time. I'm going to take this and let's just delete. I don't use grids often, but I would use my grid in this instance. And I would go ahead and turn the grids on. The grids to me look busy, so I don't really leave them on. But if you needed to, because it's a little bit hard to see the outline of your hoop, but you can kind of see it. And you could, on your next screen, so we go embroidery, because you want it to be grouped before you move it. You don't want to move it separately. Now I can see that I'm up in the top corner. There's my center mark for my hoop, and I would want to move it down. You know, this is like 1.5 grids. So now I could go layout, move, and I'm going to just move this down. So now you know where the first one stitched. We could just move this down, and I'm going to move it right below my center mark right there. So if you're using your 6x10 hoop and now you want to move it down and stitch it again, now you can move it like that. Okay, or you could start over from the very beginning. But that's the only time I really will use my grids. For the most part, I don't really use them that much. But I'm going to go back here because that's too busy for my eye. Some of you leave those grids on all the time, and I want you to do that if that's what makes your eye happy. I like this setting right here, which is just the square with the red in the middle. That makes my center mark, and there is my second one. And we're going to stitch that one out now. Okay, let's go ahead. Hang on. This is going to be top heavy. Oh, let me swing it here. All right, guess there'll be no swinging it. It's wedged in there pretty good. Okay, next one. On my screen, I'm going to go to that screen that lets me put in my go forward and backward stitches. And the first step it wants you to do, placement line. So go ahead and do your placement line. Where are we at? Are you guys good? Any questions? Oh, yeah, it wasn't threaded from before. That's why this screen is so great, because I live here, and when I'm not threaded, now I can just simply go back to the beginning. So the first thing was my placement line. This will go to the next step. This will go to the beginning of the step that you're in. If you're at the very beginning of that step, it will go to the previous step. So I'm going back to the beginning. I could have also hit 0. So there's more than one way to skin a cat. So I could have hit 0 as well. And I'm going to go ahead and spray everything. I don't know. I have one black piece. The other one is nowhere to be found. So I'm going to use this. This is what I used on my Minky Kim one. I don't know if you can see that, but it was kind of fun. It's a little bit different. So I'm going to use one of those and one of the other ones. Here is this. This is, oh, I found it. Okay, let's change that out because I do have heat and bond light on that. So this, I have to use it with the heat and bond light because that's all I brought. I'm gonna go spray all of this. Necessity is the mother of invention. Okay, let's lay this one down. Let's lay this one down. You're just going to center it to your batting and then feel before you press down, make sure you have about 1 inch all the way around. If you do, go ahead and press it down. And then we're going to skip some steps. So you're going to skip. Here we go. That's tack down for batting, skip it. That's placement for your background, skip it. That's tack down for your background, do it. Whoop!
Would you be okay with me doing a
Patrick, I'm like struggling today. Struggling.
could I do a
Today? Okay, where? Tickle it. Haha, make it laugh. I want the filming to be perfect for you, and I hate when it's not. So I'm so sorry. Okay, we are doing our background quilting. Whatever color you want to do it in, I am doing it in linen. I don't like it when everything's not perfect for you. Hurts my heart. You guys are always so great. Here we go. Now you're going to do the quilting stitch. Look at your screen. Make sure, like yesterday I was doing something. I almost went on to the watermelon peel and then I looked at my screen right here and I didn't see my quilting. I saw the watermelon peel and I was so thankful that I looked there first because then it caught me from telling you to do something you weren't supposed to be doing. Here we go with the quilting. And then we're just going to start with the bumblebee again. Same steps that we did before. Don't you love these though? Like you can go ahead and like shape them a little bit. It's that mylar that makes it iridescent, that makes it look so good too, that I absolutely love. So I think this one is one of the ones I did with my Scanica. I'm going to show you the difference. Because you guys see, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty confident snipper. And let me see. Let me take the tape off of these. We're going to look at both of them and compare. So what I thought was, we'll see you later, Miss Diane. What I thought was like, it was so much cleaner. Like when I put it down, let's look at this one. Maybe they both look absolutely amazing. Oh yeah, I think this is the one I did with Scanica. Do you see the fabric's a little bit different? I just noticed when I did the stitching, I was like, oh my goodness, it's perfect. Maybe there's no difference. Maybe they just both look amazing. They both look amazing. So do whatever you want. I just really, really, really love the Scanica at this point. It's been really great. Okay, once we're done with it, back to your instruction. Next month's going to be different. So I'm totally looking forward to it. I haven't done my videos yet, but I have all my fabric cut. This is gonna be, let me grab it in just a second. Okay, look at your screen. Screen shows you that you're doing the legs and the antenna. So I'm gonna go ahead and for this one, I'm gonna do black, but it does call for shadow. So if you wanna just go the shadow route, just put in your shadow. This is my set that is, that's gonna be a little different. Now I have 6 to choose from. If anyone wants a set, let me know. I'll give you my extra because I need 4 because I'm doing my Minky Kim and then I'm doing my Kimberbell Wallflower one. I have a whole extra set. If you want it, just say give it to me. Okay, stitch out those legs and antenna. Hey, Lauren. I'm going to show you what you need for next month. Oh, there it is. Okay, this is what I have. So oh, this is falling down. I'll fix that later. So this is going to be the fabric for and what how you have to have it cut for next month. And somebody sent me a note about the background quilting, and I think you're going to do it later. So it definitely will be quilted. Oh, woo! Oh my God. Okay. Whoever used this last didn't tighten this. So I always, if you don't tighten with a screwdriver, and I just sat down and started using it, this will shake off, and I wasn't watching it, so I'm so sorry. So you want to hand tighten. You also want to tighten it with a screwdriver too, or else it's going to shake off while you're doing your embroidery, and you're going to be confused and scared. So I was confused and scared for a minute, but now I'm okay. That was like so loose, right? So I'm going to go ahead and change out my needle. Sometimes I look at that as the powers that be are saying, Jeannie, it's time for you to change your needle. And that's why that happens. I like to use my hoop tightener, which is the green handled one. But you know what? I'm a cook in somebody else's kitchen and I don't see it. Where is it? Okay, how does anyone survive back here? Like a single screwdriver. Okay, here we go. I want this one. Usually I bring all my stuff and this better not be too loose. It's not. Okay, take that out. Let's take that out. And go ahead and throw that away. Were you guys watching that being like, oh no, something bad's gonna happen? And okay, my favorite needle to stitch with is going to be an anti-glue. So the Oregon Anti-Glue 7511 is my favorite needle. However, I will also stitch with an 8012 Microtex. Hey, Lori, do you mind grabbing me a pack of anti-glue needles? That's okay. But that's the kind of stuff that can cause a needle strike if it was like sewing in one place. So when we put this on, we're going to hand tighten it. You're always going to tighten it. Just this one. And you're always going to tighten it a little bit more with a screwdriver. And you know me, I like to use the green handled round one because I like to be able to get my whole hand on it and not just my fingertips like this. But okay, we should be good. These are my favorite needles for embroidery. And I almost always stitch with a 7511. I always go bigger needle, bigger holes. So I will bump up in size. And the other one I like to embroider with is going to be, my 8012 Microtex needle. So I find it interesting that they don't make an 8012 embroidery needle. They go straight to a 9014 is the next size that they're going to have. Right? Which is kind of crazy. I prefer to go to an 8012 as long as I'm not on like a knit fabric, which most of the time I'm not sewing on a knit. The other thing I love about these needles is they're gunmetal, like the color of them, because I never get them confused with my regular sewing needles. They're like this color, so I'll toss it on top if I do switch out. Okay, I want you to be careful when you change your needles because some people hit this little bar. You know, you can't see it, but there's a little bar and they'll hit that. Again, with your needles, hand tighten, and then you're going to screwdriver tighten, or else that's going to shake out too. So just a little bit. That was probably about like, I don't know, an 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. How do I go back? Right here, I'm going to go back. Let's go back 20 stitches. I usually will go back either 10 or 20 stitches. One or the other, depends on what I'm doing. Okay, we ready? Are we back in action? We will be once we thread. Let me go ahead and thread her up. Uh-oh. Hey, Patrick. I am... This is where I like, if he's not around, I just pull. Patrick? Can you come here? Get caught up if you're not caught up. I'm caught. Yes.
When I wash out the wings, do I leave it
I'm caught.
so it's kind of gummy?
Yeah, I mean, you can keep rinsing it if you want, but I left mine. Oh, you know what Patrick just did? Which I never do. I kind of just tug on it. As he was tugging on it, he used the hand wheel and it released. So just like a side note, I'm always like, let me just pull it out. I never touch my hand wheel. And as he was kind of pulling on it, he turned it. And is that what you recommend, Patrick? Okay, he can't hear me. He just said I turned it backwards, which you shouldn't be rotating your hand wheel a lot when you have it up all threaded, but he was turning it backwards and it just released. Yeah, so it can be a little bit gummy, but I try to wash it where you really want to wash it off really well. Michelle, is around these edges. Just make sure you like get it around I do this, and then I make sure I get it around the edges because you don't want any icky stuff around the edges.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, because I'll have customers that'll come in and they'll be like, my foot shakes off. And when I hear that, I go, are you using a screwdriver to tighten the foot? And most of the time, their answer is no. So if you are not using a screwdriver, then what just happened is going to happen to you. It's just the amount of vibration will shake it and loosen it till it falls off. Bye, Miss Susan. And that's no fun, right? I cut that thread. It's okay. It was the universe saying, Jeannie, you need to change your needle. That's how I always look at it. we doing? Does anyone have any questions? Do I need help to help anyone get caught up? Margie, I'm digging your shirt. Patrick and I are going to be back in Vegas at the Sphere, seeing the dead. I love a good tie-dye.
It's from a quilt retreat several years ago. We all wore them.
Oh, nice. Does it say something on it?
No, just
No?
tie-dyed.
Okay.
One of the gals tie-dyed, I think, about 80 of them, and we all wore them.
Wow.
It was really cool.
She did a good job. Like, that looks pretty pro. Like, she did that?
Yes, she did. She did a whole bunch of them, and we really enjoyed it. We did hippie stuff, and we had peace signs, and yeah, it was fun.
That looks amazing. Love it. I want to go to that quote
Thank you.
retreat.
It was a good one. There
I'm
was
gonna
over
put
100 of us there.
Nice. I'm gonna put the shadow in, and where's my instructions? Let me make sure I'm not leading you astray. But if you look at your screen, it shows you that it's turquoise. That means a placement line, although, not every time. There's going to be some times where it actually is the color that it wants you to stitch. But I'm putting my shadow in because it's going to be the bottom part. We're going to be laying down our black piece of fabric. So after you do the legs, placement line, and you're going to put down one of your black pieces of fabric. Okay. I always say there's a little bit of Momo and Poppy in every project. Miss Diane, did you get your package? Did it show up on Wednesday? I'm hoping.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Welcome from Australia. What time is it there?
5:51 in the morning.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you're up. Oh man, are you hopefully I hope you're an early riser?
Well, I am, but not usually this early.
Oh my goodness. Well, glad that you're able to join us and glad you finally got your stuff. I was looking at the shipping. I was like, wow, why did that take so long to leave? So
It came that day, actually, later that
oh,
day. So
good.
you're right. Yeah.
I'm good. I'm glad. I was so worried. I was like, Patrick, what's going on with the shipping on this? And then he was like, relax. It's supposed to be there Wednesday. But I'm the type that panics for sure. But good to see you.
Thank you.
Just the way you want to start your day. Embroidery.
Yep.
All right, there we go. You've got your outline stitch. Go ahead and change your thread out. I know, but I probably go faster than some people because you might remove your hoop. I always just slide it down a little bit just so I have enough room. And you guys have seen me. I am a left and right-handed cutter. So I just I'll cut with my left hand, I'll cut with my right hand. And I attribute that to the fact that I am a righty. I'm dominant righty. Go ahead and put in your buttercup. And the only thing I do with my left hand is cut with my left hand. So my mom always tells me that they called her from kindergarten to tell her that I was cutting with my left hand. And it was an issue. And she's like, who cares? But if you knew my mom's so my mom was such a gentle soul. She's not with us any longer, but she was such a gentle soul that I can't even imagine her. She's a pleaser. I get that from her. She was a pleaser, so I can't imagine that she wasn't like, okay, I'll have her cut with her. I'll have her cut with her right hand or something like that. But I think she told me, she was like, yeah, they called me. I was like, who cares? Like, wow, Mom. I always like to tell the story of how I started kindergarten because I was 4. I think I was 4.5. So she brought me to school. I think she was ready to get rid of me. And they said that I was too young and to bring me back the next year. And she said she just left me there. And that's how I started kindergarten. All right. You're going to put down your striped piece of fabric. Make sure that you're put it down with the stripes going up and down. And go ahead and hit start. All right, that was step number 6. Now we're going to trim the fabric close to the stitch line, just like we did the other one. Nothing different here. So go ahead and trim that close to the stitch line. I think this is one of the fabrics that, did it tell you to put shape flex on the back of it? Any fabric that's going to shadow through, those are the fabrics that you're going to want to put shape flex on. And it didn't tell you to do that. So in the instructions, it said iron fusible. And when I tell you that, this is what I'm referring to. So there'll be a little thing that tells you what you want to iron fusible to. When it says fusible, they're talking SF101 is what I use in the shop, but every brand sells their own fusible woven. So Kimberbell has their fusible woven that they use. And like OESD has something that they call fusible woven too. But you don't have to get their brands. You can just get SF101. And like, that's one of those things that I would say, buy by the bolt. Because you never want to be, you never want it to be a Sunday and you don't have it. And you're like, I need it for this project. So we sell the bolts. We do them at 30% off. So if you want to get a bolt, it is 20 yards, but you'd be amazed at how fast you'll go through that. Or like with me, I used to always split my stuff with Sage. She's my bestie from middle school, and she's my crafting partner in crime. Sage extraordinaire. She let me know the other week she had well, I don't know if I can say this. I better not say it. She had somebody at her house that a former first lady. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit start, and it's going to do the decorative stitch around the yellow part. What's next after this? After this, so this is step number 7. We are stitching it says stitch the stripes decorative outline, and then we're going to do the head and thorax. Again, the placement line for the head and thorax. So we're just going to go ahead and put in our shadow. Shadow. Let me hang this back up. Is this going in? Tacking something into the wall right now. I was hanging down. Okay, got it. All right, placement line. Put in your shadow. Shadow. I feel like everyone had a dog named Shadow, or a friend that had a dog named Shadow. It used to be a popular one. Here we go. And while it's doing that, I'm going to get my last piece of black fabric. We're going to put this down and we're going to trim close to the stitch line. Easy peasy, right? There are only a first. Okay. Yeah, well, yeah, you could narrow it down, right? That's funny, Cindy. This is our tack down. If you look on your screen, it's in orange. I'm going to go ahead and trim. There we go. And now it wants to do that decorative outline. I'm going to slide this back on. And then the last thing it's going to do is it's going to do the placement line in his thorax. And then we're going to lay down that last set of wings. While it's doing this, look at your wings, make sure it looks good, pick out your right side, pull like any edges that might look icky and trim them off. This looks good. And let me see which one is rounder. This is my right side. We'll see you later, Miss Sue. Okay, you're going to leave that same color in. I know it's hard to see, but it's going to stitch a little H out on the back. I have my tape left over from before that I'm just going to reuse because it's so sticky. Okay, going to pull it back here. There's a little H that it just stitched out on its side. So I guess it's an I. You got a little capital I right there. I'm going to lay this down and I'm going to look at my wings. Make sure wings are like that. Could be like your drunk bumblebee, and make sure they're not like that with the little parts on the top. And make sure you have the right side up. One side does look prettier, but I guess beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So you can just go with whatever side looks prettier to you. And then once you have it, just put your tape down. Here's my other piece of tape. I'm going to put that down. Slide it on. And now it's going to stitch it down. I got a little curl in mine before. It's okay. You could raise your foot height, but I didn't find that I needed to do that. But if you find that the foot is just pushing it all over the place, you could increase your foot height. When you're done, put your foot height back to the default. If you leave your foot height too high, it will cause your upper thread to break if you're just like on a normal setting. And that's it. There are 2 bumblebees. I'm going to go ahead and remove the tape. You can go ahead and trim all of those jump threads and anything that's sticking up. Look how cute that is with his little wings. I stitched this out and I was like, oh, I love this one the most. Next month's going to be really fun too. Did I show you the back? I don't know if I finished showing it to you. So this is what I'm using for Minky Kim. And the fabric pack I'm using is called, it's Bloomberry. Actually, this is Lori Holt, and we use that first. Some of us had that and happened on the bunny trail. So this is all that you're going to need for maze block. And then for Kimberbell, Oh, I did it twice because I'm going to, oh, I think you need 2. That's why I have 2. I'm like, why do I have so much? So I'll film it with Minky. And then this is what you're going to have for Kimberbell because you need 2 of them. So you need your batting, and then these are going to be the squares that you're going to be using. Can you guess what it's going to be? Any guesses? I'm not going to confirm or deny, but it'll be fun. Hopefully nobody shows it to you too early. If you see it someplace else, just look away. Don't ruin your surprise. Just look away. All right, that was it. Sorry about the late start and some of those changing out the filming arms a couple of times. We're gonna get it down where it's not that issue anymore. But I will post this. Have a great day, and I enjoy. Yeah.
I have a question. I'm doing the bowls with Karen this afternoon.
Yes.
Do you know what bowl? I didn't know which pattern to
Yeah, I
load.
think. Hang on just a second, because she did. I think that was in the supply list, but I'm not positive. Let me see if she added that. And then if not, I'll send out a quick email. Holiday bowls. She's gonna do the Easter one. Happy Easter in the 5x7.
Okay, perfect. Thank
And
you.
she said you're gonna do your prep work together. So I don't think you really have any prep. Just happy Easter 5x7.
Perfect. Thank you, Jeannie.
All right, guys. Have a great day. Thanks for joining me. I will see you for the next one.
Jeannie?
Yeah,
Oh, it's Diane. Can I just ask you a question? I've been
absolutely.
watching your spring showers quilt, and
Yep.
I bought that, but am I able to get your spreadsheet for it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's something that we're working on too. We've started a new section under classes that says sew along. We just haven't had time to add everything, but I will. Oh, where's my pad? I have a notepad of things to do, and I will send you the spreadsheet for that.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're
Thank
welcome,
you.
Miss Diane. Anyone else? What else do we need? Mama's here. I'll take care of you. You're good? All right. All right, everyone. I'll see you soon, and thank you so much. Bye.